Welcome and Happy New Year. This is Straight Talk on Social Media, and I am Ian Desher, Digital Marketing Specialist from Pivot. And I am here today to talk to you about things to expect in 2012, the new year, what social media things we might look forward to. But first I'm going to talk about a few news items. The first thing that I have here, the headline I have is Sponsored Stories Illegal Coming to Newsfeed Anyway. That's really not quite accurate. That's a combination of two separate stories. First of all, Facebook is being sued and actually has been allowed, a judge in California has allowed the case to be heard, so we're not sure yet what the outcome of the case is yet, but it's basically having to do with Facebook sponsored stories, and you can see an example of one here, and the fact that Facebook is using people's profile photos in those sponsored stories, such that and so what they're being sued for is that it's against California law, I guess, or there's some question of whether it's against California law to use people's pictures in these ads, and so we'll find out more about that and follow that case. But in the meanwhile, Facebook has announced that they are going to go ahead and start putting these sponsored stories within your actual news feed. So far, these sponsored stories have been showing up on the right-hand side of your screen along with the other ads, and that's sort of where they've been consigned to. But pretty soon they'll actually be showing up in your news feed, which is good news for people who advertise on Facebook, maybe less good news for people who use Facebook personally. So anyway, just something to know about. If you do start running sponsored stories through Facebook, you might actually end up in people's news feeds. Facebook has also introduced a new feature called Suggested Events. The way that this works is if you check in on Facebook using their Facebook location on your smartphone, you check into being at a place, and then let's say it's a concert venue, and in 2 weeks that venue is having a similar concert. Facebook is going to start popping up what they call suggested events within your ad space on the right-hand side of the screen, where they're actually going to be pushing out some events that they think that you might be interested in based on where you've checked in before. So this is one way that they are trying to sort of further get across that Facebook interaction actually does lead to real-world interaction and real-world events and things like that. And also one other thing that they're doing to sort of allow marketers to do different things, particularly for places that hold a lot of events. And I heard that the Occupy movement, Occupy Wall Street movement, is starting its own social network called the Global Square. The idea here is that the Occupy movement is pretty nervous about sending its private messages through something like Facebook, and yet they recognize the power of social media to reach a lot of people quickly and to be able to get out the word about something. And certainly we've seen in some of the things that have happened in the last year, the uprisings in Egypt and in other, a big part of that where people are actually planning some demonstrations and things like that over social media. So now the Occupy movement is actually taking this idea and running with it and saying we're going to start our own network called the Global Square. So that'll be an interesting one to see how that unfolds. And now the focus, straight talk on what to expect in 2012. What I've prepared for you today, it's a list of 12, appropriately, sort of things that we might see in this year from social media. It's a combination of my own thoughts, a couple of different articles that I've drawn from, and it's a mix also of sort of general predictions about what's going to be happening, but also some developments we know are coming down the line that are going to be important. And these are in no particular order. So number one is the gap between good and bad social media practice will increase. So the companies that are doing social media well will get even better at it, and the ones who are not doing it well or are sort of neglecting it, are letting it fall by the wayside, those are going to get even worse. This was an observation that a blogger made, and I think it's really an interesting point and sort of a wake-up call to think about, well, how is my social media presence doing? You know, am I going to be one of those companies that is getting better and better at how it relates with customers through social media, or am I going to continue to let it fall by the wayside? Number two, we're going to see a lot of improved return on investment measurements within social media. We know that, and you've heard me say before, ROI of social media is notoriously difficult. Facebook has done a lot to give you some idea of how your company page is performing, how your ads are performing, and we expect to see more of those analytics coming and improved analytics so that you'll be able to get a better sense of what really is the ROI for social media. How well is it? Is the time that I'm putting into it, how well is that producing results for me? So expect to see some improved ROI measurements in this year. Twitter's company pages will be a hit, I think. I think that it was very wise of them to go down this road of allowing companies to have more of an official presence on Twitter and to do some of the customizations. If you weren't with us when I talked about this last time or the time before, basically what they're offering is this ability to put a sort of headline graphic up in the top area here, some basic information. You can pin a particular tweet to the top as opposed to having random tweets go by. You can have you can pin a particular tweet up there and that sort of thing. So right now they're unfolding it to just about a couple dozen companies, but we're going to start seeing this more and more. That I'm sure they'll be getting it out to all companies by the end of this year. And so look for that. I do think it's going to be an important platform for companies to pay attention to now that they have a unique presence on Twitter. There's going to be improved advertising targeting across probably all social networks where the information that you are putting into, that users are putting into social networks is going to be used more and more to target them for advertising. It will also be happening more in real time so that as somebody is posting a tweet about something or typing in a status update about a particular something, that the ads are going to start reflecting what they've just typed and that sort of thing. So expect to see that, again, this is good news for companies advertising through social media. Expect to see that the tools for doing that are even better and are even better in terms of how you can target your clients and your future customers. But along with that, you'll see the ellipses at the end of that. Along with that is that there are going to be more privacy concerns. The image, you can check out this comic here. I thought it was pretty funny about a girlfriend finding out that her boyfriend had Googled somebody else. But anyway, along with better targeting is always going to come more privacy concerns. People wondering, how is my information being used by this social network to send companies my way? And we know that Facebook has been dogged by privacy concerns and in many cases has not handled that issue particularly well. And I think we'll start to see that more and more with Twitter and with Google Plus as they unveil advertising platforms and things of that sort as well. So just expect that this is going to be another year of us trying to figure out, and social media companies trying to figure out what is going on with privacy, what can we do here to make sure that our information is safe. If you haven't heard of Pinterest, I think that in 2012, Pinterest is going to be a social media sort of force to be reckoned with. What Pinterest allows you to do is upload pictures and I believe videos of things that you like and talk about them some, and then look at other people's the things that they've pinned up and that sort of thing. And so obviously Pinterest is a sort of a play on the word pin, because you're pinning things up sort of on a bulletin board, almost sort of similar to Facebook's wall, but it has more of a bulletin board look and feel to it. And then of course the word interest at the end of that. So I've talked with a few people who are using Pinterest, and they just rave about it and think it's just a really compelling and fascinating way of sharing what you love with other people. So I think this is going to be one for us to keep an eye on as we go through this year. Facebook is going to be introducing new ways to market. So I think we can expect Facebook already in this last year, besides having Facebook ads and the company pages that they have, they've introduced sponsored stories this year. They've introduced now the suggested events, that sort of thing. I think more and more we're going to see from Facebook different ways that you can advertise, and more advertising options open up to companies who want to be seen and want to be found on Facebook. So expect that there are going to be developments here, and obviously I will keep you updated on them through these webinars as we hear more about them. But basically the message to take away here is that Facebook really is trying to reach out to companies who are on Facebook and who want to bring their advertising revenue to Facebook. And I, in fact, just saw something recently that said that Facebook has just passed Google in terms of social media related advertising revenue and that sort of thing. Google still holds a big sway over the overall advertising budgets, but Facebook is making serious headway there, and look for them to continue to improve what they're offering to companies through that. And speaking of Facebook and Google, this is going to be another year where we see these two companies sort of duking it out. Google Plus finally seems to have hit the right chord with users in terms of it's, basically I saw something the other day that said it's been very critically acclaimed and is expected to probably get up to 400 million users this year. Now Facebook will probably hit 1 billion users this month or next month, so still has the lead there, but expect that Google Plus and Facebook are going to be sort of going head to head in terms of trying to get people's attention, certainly trying to get advertisers' revenue and that sort of thing. But in the end, I think that what we're still going to see is that Google is still going to be a runner-up in terms of social media. I think that this article that I mentioned a minute ago that said that Google Plus is critically acclaimed, it is critically acclaimed, but also not widely used. That was what the article went on to say. Yes, it has more and more users, it is growing, but it's still not something that people have gotten in the habit of using regularly the way that they have with Facebook. And I think that's true for myself as well. Partially that has to do with the fact that just so many more of my friends and family and contacts are on Facebook than are on Google Plus at this point. And so Facebook is still where I'm spending most of my time. And Google also hasn't quite figured out how to make Google Plus as compelling as it could be. There are just still some issues out there about not being able to do certain things that Facebook can do that people I think want to see happening on Google Plus. I also read an interesting article just a couple of days ago that talked about how Google Plus is actually sort of inherently messing up how Google as a search engine overall works. The reason for that is it seems like, at least according to this article, it seems like maybe Google is pushing forward and higher in the rankings things that have been mentioned on Google+, sort of giving them a false sense of importance in terms of search rankings. When you search for something on Google, things that have been mentioned on Google+ are getting this false boost that maybe they shouldn't be getting because they're not actually the most relevant search options. So this article was arguing that Google stepping into the social media realm has actually hurt its reliability as a search engine.